Hello, welcome back to my channel. Wow, I'm so excited. Thank you very much for watching the last video. I hope it was helpful. And to everyone who is new, my name is Favor Ezebuchi, and my channel is all about helping your child from their cradle stage. Okay, thank you so much for the last video. Thank you for subscribing. Please, if you've not subscribed watching this video, please just hit on the subscribe button so that you can always be notified when a new video pops up. So today I'm going to be talking about building muscle grip. Building muscle grip in a child. This is like a pre-writing skill. So I'm going to be doing a series that I'll break into parts, talking about how to make a child to read. Sorry, how to make a child to write. Now, making a child to write, the first thing first, okay, is building up their muscle and developing their tripod grip. I always emphasize on tripod grip. So developing a child's muscle and tripod grip is very essential. It helps in their writing, it helps in their coordination, it helps in every activity, like other activities, like educational activities or non-educational activities, as the case may be. When your child's muscle is being developed, automatically you see that your child holds properly. When your child is writing, the writing is not faint. You want a child to write number 2, you want a child to write number 3, or even want a child to color. Okay, you see that those things are a bit fainty. It's not really what you can see to read. It's so light. So that means your child needs to develop his or her what? Muscle. So I want to be giving us tips on how we could do that. Now, if your school, as a school owner, you're watching this, if your school is actually doing it, that's okay. As a parent, if you're not doing this, you could want to inculcate this into your daily routine. And even if your school is where your child is going, they are actually developing his muscles, probably doing most of the tips I'm going to be dropping here, it's fine. But I would still advise that you also like I would always say, bring what is happening in school back to the home. So your child is you're striking a balance for your child. Okay, it's not that education stops in school, you're also bringing it back to the house. So if your child is having such difficulty trying to write what you can see, it doesn't matter the age. Sometimes you could see age 6 years, their writing is still very faint. You could also try out these exercises, these activities. It's fun, like it's not too education like, so, and I'm so sure that they would enjoy it, they would want it. So please, you can do this at home, and you can use anything within your reach. It's not a do or die that you're going to use this, or because I don't have this, I'm going to do this. No, you have to you can make do with anything available to build up your child's muscle. Okay, so the first here I would want to talk about is strengthening hand finger muscles. The first thing you may want to use, everybody knows Play-Doh. So I have some materials here with me. So everybody knows the Play-Doh gadget, okay? So this is what it looks like. So when you open up your Play-Doh, it comes this way, okay? So so everyone knows Play-Doh. Play-Doh helps your child a lot. So what do? You make them mold this. You keep making them, mold it. And inside this Play-Doh, there are cutters. So you may want to do this, and then here. So you may want to do it, the way we do pancake, right? You may want, this is like going to be practical. Because it's for kids, I would always not leave you in the dark. I always want to make it so it's actually practical for you to so you know how to do these things. So when you know how we do the pancake or your chin-chin, not even pancake, chin-chin, right? So you roll it down, okay? And then you take the pistol, and then you can't see this. So you flatten it, right? You flatten it, you make them mold it. mold it into something make it to be so smooth. So this thing that I'm doing is strengthening their what muscle, and it's also strengthening their pincer grip. You can see what I'm doing. It's kind of tough, so you may want to do this for the child. Okay, help your child. You model it first, and then every activity for your child must be modeled. Please make sure you model it to the child so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, the child is doing this, and then when you're done, you make the child hold it for a long time. You can see what I'm doing. The child would hold it for a very long time. You loosen it, then you take this thing. You have cutters here. Now I could want to use this to, because my video. Okay, so we may want to make, by the time we are done, we may want to get the shape. Okay, the shape of the apple. So the child molds and keep just like that. So this one helps a whole lot. So you don't undermine this. You could get this on Amazon, or you could get this in educational shops anywhere around you. Play-Doh is what can come in handy. The next one I will also prefer is the blue tack. Now the blue tack, this is what it is. We use this blue tack in our school to hold things on the wall. Okay, so and then so you may want to make them to straighten. Now blue tack doesn't work until it is hot. When it's very hot, then whatever you paste on the wall stays for, it could stay for the whole term without even coming down. Whatever, maybe their artwork, timetable schedule, wall charts, whatever it is getting hot. So this is what it is. You could Google this. You get this. It's a hoo-hoo glue, and this one. So this is exactly how this looks inside. I've already used two, right? And then the blue tack. This is how it comes. So you just cut out, and it's useful. It's very useful. Yeah, that's how it is. Sometimes I mix the both together. You can mix it and then make them to massage it. They should massage it. This is fun. You're strengthening their muscle gripping by doing this. Okay? By doing this. So I would want to show you a little bit. So I have one paper here. Okay? So I'm going to paste it at it's hot now. It's actually hot because I've actually been massaging it. Okay? So it's actually hot. So this is it. So I've put up here, and then can you see? So I'm gonna do this and this. It stays there for a very long time. You could see it stays there for a very long time. Okay, so then whenever you want to remove it, you can remove it. Please, it is reusable. You don't trash it. So this is what I would also recommend that you get. You could get this on Amazon. You could type blue tack, or you could type Uhu Parafix. Uhu Parafix, right? Uhu Parafix. So yeah, you get that, and it helps. While the child is doing it, the child's muscle is getting strengthened. You also have like the native food we eat, the eba. That's your gari, the molded gari. You could mold it so strong and make them to actually mold it into balls. So that helps a lot. It helps your child's muscles to get developed and ready for writing. So this is coming in like a first stage of what you need to prep your child. Just like you want to go to work. You wake up in the morning, you say your prayers, and you take your bath, you brush your teeth, and all those things are prepping. Now, the same thing, you don't just start making a child to write. All these things are also called what? Prepping. Now, this prepping can come in 5 minutes before any activity, maybe writing activity in your school or even in the house. So by the time you're doing this, you see that your child's muscle is beginning to get developed, is beginning to get so strong. Okay, now the next one I want to talk about is squeezing activity. I've said you could use this and make them hold it for a long time, like make a fist. Okay, just like you want to take when when you go to the hospital and they want to take you a sample of your blood. Okay, they tell you to make a fist like this, so strong. So you could tell them to do that, even if it's just like that. But sometimes it's good because there's a pressure when you hold something. Okay, so I have soft toys like this. This is very soft. So I could also make them hold this long and press it, okay, for a long time. So why am I even saying this is because it's fun like for them. It's a toy, and because they love all of these things. I told you that for you to get a child, you have to be like a child to win a child's heart. And for you to make them get into any activity, it has to be colorful, and it has to be in a play way so that you could get them easily. But for the older ones, yes, older ones, let's give them benefit of doubt. They also need this play once in a while, right? So if you have soft balls like this can come in handy in all these children's shops. You could get them, or even in the mall. So you get this and you want them to hold it for a long time. Yeah, as they're holding it, you see that this other side is being stretched. So it's almost fun like for them. So they look at it, oh wow. So I'm actually holding the ball now. There's a ball inside. So I'm releasing the ball. Now, let me see if you can look at the ball there. Can you see the ball? Look at the ball. So now I'm going to hold the ball. You could tell them to hold the ball, right? So this is it, and then they release their hands. So you may want to do this for a long time. Okay, it's an activity. So when you're done with this, another thing you can use is getting for my Nigerian family, if you have pap and you make your pap yourself, the shaft, you could get it into the tray or into a bowl and make them mesh it. That one helps a whole lot. Please, when you're doing all of these, it has to be under strict supervision. You don't leave the child unsupervised, please. Okay, so you get that that whatever, the shaft of coming out from the, what's it called, the pap you have washed, like the guinea corn, the millet and all of that. After grinding it and sieving, you get that chaff. So you put it in a bowl and make the child to just keep meshing it. And as you're meshing it, they're holding their fist, just like the way we wash bitter leaf, right? So you could just do that. You could also engage them in the bitter leaf washing. There's nothing wrong in it. All of these things are things that you find at home that you could help your child develop his or her muscle, and it helps your child to bond. Okay, so you do that with that shaft. If you don't have that, you may want to get fine white sand. Probably you sieve it and it's very fine, very smooth. You get it and you also hold it. Sometimes you put it like in water, just like you want to mold something, clay and all of that. You put it and you make the child to hold it. You just keep meshing. Please, everything you're doing should be supervised with your child, so they don't put things in the mouth and all of that. Okay, so that being said, the next thing I also want to give you as a tip that you could use to strengthen your child's muscle and get your child ready is this. You could get this foam, okay? And so here I've gotten this bowl of water. I have water in it. And you make your child, please, I'm doing this because of you, but I would always do this in a water tray or in a big bowl outside, okay? Or sometimes I make them do it in the bathtub. So we do this, and you can see I have this. So I'm going to squeeze this, okay? So if it's outside, I could do this and transfer from here. I have this bowl here, so I could transfer it from, let's assume this is my bowl, but this is really small, okay? So I could transfer this and put it in here. So you make your child to transfer water. Now, why am I saying a soft foam is because when you squeeze it, you're also strengthening that muscle gripping that you want to achieve when your child starts to write. So you can see, so you tell the child to take it back again, and either they are squeezing it back into the bowl or you are making them to transfer from one bowl to another bowl like this. So you do that again. The child is transferring from one bowl into another bowl like this. You can see the water, right? So that's it. So it helps your child. You know, for the child doesn't even know the objective behind this. But you as a guardian, you as a mom, as a dad, as a teacher, okay, you know what your objective is. But for the child is playing. It's just like your child is sick and you're treating the child. You may not see the improvement in one day, right? So that's exactly what it is. So your child, for you have an objective behind, and the child may not know or may know, but the child is playing and is getting involved because the child is having fun. Like I said, everything for every child must be fun-like. For you to get every child, you should always carry them along in a playful way, okay? So that's exactly what this would help you achieve. So the next I have is we've talked about the muscle, right? The muscle, we've developed the muscle, not so. And then now we want to go into their pencil grasp practice. Now, for me, what I do here, I couldn't lay my hands on, I forgot actually, the beans. But what I have here is it's what we have, rice grains here. So in this plate is rice. You can see this is rice. Okay. Now I have this rice here, and I have another. Oh, made a mistake. And I have another bowl here, which is empty. Now, you would want your child to develop this, okay? If it is beans or guinea corn, it's fine. But if you can't lay your hands on those, I'm picking this rice from one plate to the other plate, from one plate to the other plate. You can see I've picked how many now? 3. You can see that. So I'm picking from here and I'm dropping, right? I'm picking from here and I'm dropping. Now this particular one, it helps the child in eye-hand coordination. It helps the child in his or her mind. You're also developing sensory organs, and then you're also developing that pencil grasp. You're engaging it. So you can see, and the child is speaking. You're getting the child ready. So if you don't want to send your child early to school, there are things that you could start working on your child behind the scene. So when the child gets to school, the child is not struggling, okay? There's not much work for the teacher to engage in, in trying to go through the process. And if peradventure you're a school owner or you're a teacher watching this video, you can actually talk to your management and introduce this. So if I had beans, I could also pick beans. You know, the grain of a beans is quite larger. I could do that too. Okay, so you can get the, what's it called? I have buttons here. I have different sizes of buttons. So look at this button here. Look at this button here. Right? And then I have the smaller buttons too. And the smaller buttons are in different. Can you see that? Can you see? This is what it looks like. And then it has different shapes. This is like a star. And then this is like a petal shape. So you have this. You can make the child to sort these into colors. You're not just telling the child to pick. That's why I said make it colorful, so that the child is engaged and you have something you're actually targeting. If you want your child to develop tripod grip, you could tell the child to use the tripod to separate this. And the child is, even if you don't have colored plates, you may want to go with glasses like this. Sorry, a glass actually for a child, but you have to be supervised. You could get a plastic but transparent this way. Okay, so you make the child to sort all the yellow into the yellow area or even on a table. You could get them to sort into the yellow on this part of the table, the blue shape on this part, and all of that. When you're done sorting out with colors, you may want to go sorting out into shapes. So we have the star shape. So all the star shapes, we get them. All the circle shapes, we get them. All the flower petal shapes, we get. All the butterfly shape. Look at this one, like a butterfly, right? You get them. So you're making the child to sort that, and you're observing the child, and the child is using the tripod grip. You may want to, because that's your objective. So don't rule out your objective. The child is having fun, but please make sure that the child is doing this, and you're not just telling the child to just pick randomly. Oh, mom, I'm done. Or Mrs. Favor, I'm done. Mrs. Ezebuchi, I am done. No, you've not actually achieved your objective. So there's an objective, even if the child sees it as a play, but you have an objective stored up that you want to achieve. So that's it for using the button as a sorting tool, using the tripod to sort out, to improve what? Their tripod grip. Then the next one I want to talk about is beading. Beading, you cannot overemphasize this beading. Beading helps, like in the other video I talked about, the last video, I said it helps in concentration, but this time around, we also want to see how we can develop what? This tripod pencil grasp. So we are doing this, and you can see that they are making do with their fingers. You're getting them ready for writing. So by the time you're doing all this activity, when it's time for your child to write, writing is not going to be borrowed for the child. Writing would not be borrowed for your child. So this is a big deal for every child. Please don't make them miss out on it. Okay, so including the bigger ones, they want to also have their goal, even if they've done it before, even if you feel they're old, but you may want to just engage them in such activity. Then we have the pom-poms. We have bigger pom-poms. Just in case you don't know, the pom-poms, we have bigger pom-poms, we have smaller pom-poms. I don't think I brought them close by. It's there, but it's not close by. If you go down to the previous video, I have a picture of what pom-poms look like. So we have smaller ones, and you want them to also sort them out using their tripod, okay? The other thing I want to talk about is some people you see would always do tearing of paper, but I don't advise tearing of papers. The reason is because when you have children begin to rip papers, you see that it gets into their subconscious. So whenever a child sees any pieces of paper around, the child wants to start ripping those papers. And no. You may not know one day the child is going to rip off your important document. So what I do is I always introduce these child-friendly scissors. It's not sharp. It's not dangerous. It doesn't have a pointed edge. You could see this in children's stores, okay? So what I do is I give them papers to cut. Sometimes, for me, I start making them cut randomly. You can see it's cutting actually. I make them to cut what? Randomly. Okay? So I start making them cut what? Randomly. You can see I had cut that. I start making them cut randomly like that. Okay? Into any shape. And then when they're okay, you can see that, you see what's happening. The muscle is building. Okay? You're also developing this too. You're strengthening their tripod what? Fingers. Now, when I'm done with that, I may want to rule shapes and patterns and then make them cut according to that shape and pattern I have given to them. Now, for them, it's a fun activity, but for you, there's an objective behind it. Your child is learning to use the scissors. Your child is also learning to cut. Your child is developing his muscle, and the child is also strengthening his what? Tripod fingers. So all of this, and then the child is also building concentration. So you see, these things help the child to develop. You may want to do this even in your house as a parent, okay? It must not necessarily be in school, but if you know if your child is in a school and you come across this video, I would appreciate if you share this video to your excuse me, to your child's teacher to actually follow through. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, now we are graduating into making the child now begin to write. Now that pre-writing, we are still on our pre-writing skill. Now I have the jumbo crayons. Okay, so we start with this crayon. There are different sizes of crayons, but I always say you go for the jumbo ones. These ones are big and it helps your child. So your child is going to learn to scribble. Okay, for me, when your child is scribbling using the crayon, please, after, well, I'm not trying to say you stop what you're doing, but for me, I notice that when a child starts using pencil to grip, okay, automatically when the child is using pencil to scribble, the child will go home and start scribbling on the wall. Anywhere the child sees pencil, the child knows, oh, it's to scribble. Anytime the child is holding a crayon, the child knows it's to scribble anywhere. It could be on the floor, it could be on the wall, it could be anywhere. So I don't encourage that in the school I manage. What I do is they scribble in their book, and it's not for a lengthy period of time, maybe for like the first day and the second day, and we are done with it. If you want, for me, what I do is I make the child, we print out what do we call it, objects. For instance, if we are looking at animals today, okay, in class, I would say, okay, if we're looking at the duck, so I'm going to print out the duck on this sheet, okay, and then I paste it in their book, and I make them to do what? Color inside the duck. So it depends on the age of the child. Sometimes your child is about say 1 year plus, 2 years plus, you're making it in a fun way, 3 years plus. Yes, it's okay, but later you could make them start scribbling inside the confined space you have actually drawn, okay, for them to color. So whenever they see crayon, they would always go to fetch a book for them to scribble or want to color in that book. Whenever they hold a pencil, you always see them go to get a paper or a book, not because of anything. Whenever they see papers, the kids I have actually handled, I have not had a report that my child is ripping off papers like at home randomly. No, it has to be with the scissors. So if the child doesn't have access to scissors, the child doesn't even know that they're supposed to rip papers. So we try to, the way you groom your child, the way you start with your child goes a long way for you, okay? So that being said about crayons and all of that. Now the next pre-writing skill I would want to also introduce is, let's assume your child is beginning to write, okay? Which is what I'm going to do on a different video, how to make the child to write. But we are trying to talk about the tools needed now to make the child to write. So I don't encourage using the normal pencil. I didn't actually bring it here, but the normal slim pencil, no. For the younger kids, get this size of jumbo pencils. Can you see that? So it matches. And then please, you help position their hands. Look at this, the tripod, okay? You position their hands on it. And then the child is writing, either a stroke down or whatever you want the child to write. Even if you want your child to scribble with your pencil, okay? So you start like that. And then this one is not standing. This one is relaxed on here, okay? So you see that it's relaxed. Have you seen that? So the child is using this and is scribbling and is writing. When your child is graduating from this, please don't also rush into the other normal pencil that we know. No, you go on. There's this, always look for tripod. I love this pencil a lot. It's original. You could get this on Amazon. Their name is Mapped pencil. I don't know if you could see it. Yeah. So it's already fashioned like a tripod. Okay. So it's already faced, like the pencil is made like a triangular base, if I would say that. Okay. So the child just slots the finger in. You can see that is the next size to this. Can you see? It's still big, but not as big as this. So your child has graduated into this. And the child is now writing. Okay, now after this is what the pack looks like. After this, now you're going to the normal sized pencil. This is the normal size pencil, but I always go for the triangular base type, not the round fitted one, because your child is still trying to develop, right? So this is what I do, and it's still triangular base, so their fingers just fitting. Can you see that? And then the child is writing. So there are 3 sizes of pencil I always recommend. The big jumbo, the next size should be a triangular base, and then the normal size of pencil. If you can't get the triangular base, it's okay. You could still get the normal size, but the rounded one. But don't start off with this. Always make the child to feel comfortable holding this one, because you're still working on their gripping and their muscles. So that's okay. Please, you may want to avoid this, because you will see this a lot. Also using the crayon. You see them holding it this way, and then they are doing this. You know, they are doing this. Do you understand? So avoid it. Avoid it. Avoid this totally. Correct them. Always correct them. Tripod. Always correct them. Okay? Because it's more comfortable. Using tripod is very comfortable. Then holding your pencil like this, or like this, or like this. No. Tripod is very comfortable for the child. So these are the ways to achieve that on pencil. Then I have these tweezers. You could get them also on Amazon. The other video emphasized this. Yes, can you see it has, let me see if another color would not reflect. Yes, you see the first, the second, and the back has this. Now, this first and second is for these 2 fingers here. That hole in there. And then the last back here is for this. So have you seen what I've done now? So I'm going to make the child to pick this. Okay? So I'm going to make a child to pick this. I'm going to make a child to pick this. Okay, let's use the buttons. Okay, I have links here. I still have my links. You know the other link we used in the previous video? These are links that link up here. These are links. Okay, I still have this here. So I'll make the child to pick. See, it's still tripod. Can you see? The first hole is here, the next is here, and the back. Have you seen the hole there at the back? So my thumb goes there. So that's it. And the child is picking, and it's transferring from here to the next plate. It's transferring. Can you see? It's transferring. Can you see that? The child is transferring. Now the child will get tired from experience and do this. Please stop. That's why I said every child must be supervised. The child will want to do this. Please don't allow that. The child may get frustrated and want to use this hand to put it in. Don't allow that, because there's an objective you want. The longer they stay on these things, the better for them. So it goes that way. It goes that way. So having said all that, the last one I want to talk about is opening and closing of bottles. It helps. Opening and let them to close it. It helps in eye coordination. It helps also in strengthening their muscles, and then they're strengthening their tripod fingers. So you go this way. Whatever you're doing, please focus on this. So you see, the child does this, and the child closes it. So you can have them here, so many in a bowl, and just make them to either unlock them, okay, close, open, and all of that. Now the last one I want to talk about is this. So I'm going to get 2 bowls here. This is one, and the second one here. Okay, you can use anything. And I have water in here. So I'm going to pour this here into the first bowl. Please, this should be supervised. So in case your water is not neat, the child doesn't put it in the mouth. Okay, so you could see, can you see what this is? So this is the pack. It's called Tweezy Droppers. So So I have two types here. So this one comes like the normal syringe kind of, and then this comes this way. Your child may want to do this. I use it to transfer liquid from here. Have you seen that? Into here. You can see the water. Right? Don't allow them do this. You want, if you're achieving this, then they can do this. But if you're achieving this, please make them do it this way. Tripod fingers. So I go down, it comes in, right? And then I'm dropping it in here. Can you see that? The next one, I come again, I hold it, and it comes here. So that's it. Sometimes I may want to, I'll give them an indication line, and I'll say, fill this to the line. When you get there, you stop. So they fill the bottle. They're having fun. They love it. So allow them to do it. Okay? So this is also an activity that helps your child. Why am I coming this way? It's playful. It's in a play way. This one is the same thing. You can see. If you can't get this, you could get the big syringe. You remove the needle and make them draw and transfer. So all of this you could get in your home. You could get around you. Then we have scooping. Scooping. This is grain of rice from one bowl to the other bowl. So you make them scoop and then help them to feed themselves from that tender age. So they are already getting ready. Okay? So that being said, patience is key. You have to be very, very patient so that you can achieve this. And then reinforcement, even if it's happening in school, I said, make sure that they come in and also introduce this in the house. Okay? The last thing, I've been saying last, I just remembered. In the morning, on your morning routine, when you have packed their lunch pack, help them, make them to zip up. You can see the lunch pack is open, right? So, let's assume I've packed everything for them in the morning. Zipping is very good. So you help them to zip. Okay, baby, can you help mommy zip your lunch pack? And that's it. Buttoning of shirts. You could just bring out their shirts, keep on the bed, and tell them to button it and unbutton it. All of those things are activities that you can do. It helps your child. It helps your child to bond. It helps your child in the muscle. It helps to strengthen their muscle. It also helps in their their tripod, strengthen their tripod fingers. So that being said, everything here has been exhausted, and this is what I would say that you could do this at home. You can reach out to all these things. Pegging, I use pegging too for my children at home. But when you're pegging, use a tripod. You may want to go down to the first video I did on my YouTube page. So make sure that this is enjoyable for the child. Make sure that this is fun-like for the child. Make sure that the child enjoys this activity. You may have two activities at the space of 3 minutes or 5 minutes. It depends on the age of the child. For me, I'm not going to make this lengthy for like 1 hour. 1 hour you're doing this. 1 hour you're doing this. Oh, no. The lights. So most of them, we don't want to do that. So that they don't get bored. That's really what it is. Okay, so if you have questions, you can put it down in the comments below. If you have something you use to help your child, you can also drop it on the comments. Please like this video, share this video, subscribe if you've not actually subscribed. Remember that this YouTube channel is here to develop every child, irrespective of wherever they are found, irrespective of their nationality, irrespective of their color. We are here for every child. We are here to build up the next generation. So please, if you know any other method you have used in your school or any method you're using on your child and you feel that the child you're seeing improvement, positive improvement, please share. You could put a link And all of these resources, you could get them at home, or you could get them at any educational shop around you, or you could actually place an order on Amazon. So that being said, stay blessed, everyone. Stay blessed. And see you in my next video. So this is actually going to be a series. This is how to help your child to read. This is the first stage. Sorry, how to help your child to prepping your child for activities, prepping your child to write. Before you send your child to school, there's something that you need to do for in prepping the child. So you're not going to dump the child there, and the teacher may not even know what to do, and then your child is not enjoying school, your child is not enjoying writing. This would actually help your child to achieve that. Okay, so have a blessed time. My love to the family, and stay blessed. Bye.